Good day, everyone, and welcome to Vanished Chicagoland Stories, the podcast, episode 14. I am your host, Pete Costanis, and I'm glad you joined me. This program is brought to you by Fensel Tufo Chevrolet City, once located at Glendale Heights, Illinois, and here is a commercial from 1979.
Oh, what a night. I am exhausted, flying all over town, climbing up walls, crawling through windows.
Pardon me, why not stop flying and drive a Chevy from Fensel Tufo Chevy City? They're making monster lease deals on every new Chevy in their showrooms. For low monthly lease payments, you can drive your choice of compacts, mid-sizes, or even a luxury custom Primo Monte Carlo.
That sounds fantastic. Do you have one in a nice blood red?
Okay, I am back. Thank you for listening to that very nostalgic commercial. Fensel Tufo Chevy City had some weird commercials featuring monsters, and they featured one monster and had a whole rally of them. And that commercial featured a vampire, probably Dracula. And a lot of people remember him. They found it. Some people say it was corny. Some found it entertaining. Some people found it stupid, but I loved them. And I'll give you a brief history of the car dealership. What I know. All I know is they were located in Glendale Heights, Illinois, on North Avenue. And I don't know when they started. Probably maybe late 60s, early 70s. And Fensel Tufo owned previous dealerships in the Chicagoland area. I think one in Cicero, Illinois, or one in Elmhurst. And it closed in the 1980s. And right now, there is a dealership in that location, and it's called Sunrise. And one day, when I graduated from DeVry Institute of Technology in 1986, I was searching for a job. I couldn't find anything at the time, so I applied for a position at the dealership. And I drove all. It was the first time I went there. And I was interviewed by a man. He seemed very nice, but he told me that I was not a salesman. You don't look like the salesman type, which he was right, because I don't like selling. I'm not a very good person doing that. So I was disappointed not to get the job, but I'm glad he told me. And looking back to that, and it looked like a very nice place. The latest cars in the showroom. So I'm glad everyone enjoyed that commercial, and hopefully I will find another commercial down the road in later episodes. Anyway, today I'll be talking about a few things. First off, I will talk about Ned Locke, who was the TV personality and who was best known for Ringmaster Ned or Mr. Ed from Bozo's Circus. And his real name was Norbert Locke, and he probably changed that. And let's see, he was in the business, show business for a long, long time, even before Bozo's Circus. So he was born in Red Wing, Minnesota, and he was an actor. He performed in theater companies, and then by 1950, I think around that time, he came to Chicago, and he hosted a radio show called Uncle Ned's Squadron, which later on it was televised on first the radio show was on WMEQ, and then the TV station was WNBQ. Later on, turned into WMEQ later on. And he appeared in a lot of TV shows, and one was called, Captain Hearts and His Pets, and then he moved over to WGN Channel 9 in 1956. which surprisingly he was a weather forecaster. That was interesting. Excuse me. Then he hosted a series called Lunchtime Little Theater. A lot of people remembered that show. It was on noon on Channel 9. And I never seen it because I wasn't born yet. And then later on, he starred and produced and wrote the TV series Paddle Boat. And that ran for about, not very long, maybe about a year or two. And then on September 11th, 1961, Bozo's Circus debuted. And he got the role of Ringmaster Ned. So some people remembered when he first appeared. That must have been interesting. And according to some information, on the last TV show of Paddle Boat, he received the costume for Mr. Ned. And then he stayed on the show from the beginning, 1961 to 1976, and he retired. And I remembered him when he did commercial sponsorships. He did Leader Cleaners, and I remember he held a inflatable Easter bunny, and it was during Easter time. And another thing he advertised was Bun chocolate bars. And you can still find them in the stores. I tried a couple of times. One was chocolate. The other one, I believe, was maple. I never tried the maple one. And And then on Bozo's Circus, he participated with Bozo and Oliver Oliver, Cookie the Clown, Wizzo. And he was like the sound of reason, because the clowns sometimes did silly things. That's what clowns do. And sometimes I remember he never got hit with a pie. Maybe once I remember, but rarely he did. But most of the time, Cookie the Clown got it, or Oliver did. Bozo, very seldom. And let's see. So he retired in 1976, and then he moved to a town called Kimberly City, Missouri. I don't know why. And where he was the chief of police, and he was in real estate, and later he ran for mayor until he died in 1992. So he had 2 children, and his costume is now at the Museum of Broadcasting Communications in downtown Chicago. So you can see other stuff from Bozo's Circus, other TV shows, and you can go see it, which is pretty amazing. I have to make a trip down there someday. All right, so let's talk about something else. Let's see. Another thing I will talk about is Poppin' Fresh pies, that is. It's a lot of people love that restaurant, and now it's Baker Square. And it started in December 1969 in Des Moines, Iowa. And it was one restaurant. It's called Mrs. C's. And then the company, Pillsbury, purchased the restaurant and renamed it Poppin' Fresh Pies. And then it opened in Chicago. I'm trying to remember because I remember the commercials. You can still find Poppin' Fresh commercials on YouTube. It was probably like 78, 79. And from there on, it just blew up in popularity, and because of the pies. The food was okay, still is, and everyone had a favorite. One of his well-known pies was French silk. I still love that. Fruit pies I do love. And let's see. So I'm trying to remember when Baker Square. Oh, Baker Square. And then it changed the name to Baker Square in 1983. But I still like Poppin' Fresh. I like the name of that. Baker Square is okay. So right now, there's only about maybe a few locations. I can look that up for you. I used to go to one in Alsip, and there was one in Burbank, Illinois. And let's see. So last I heard, there are about maybe 3 or 4 in the Chicagoland area. I could tell you which one they're still there. Okay. Last I heard, there's 3. Oh, that's pretty amazing. Or let's see. So that's good. So hopefully they'll stay open or they'll reopen. And okay, so there were about maybe, okay, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, about 8. Yeah, 8 of them. Okay, so it was a shame that most of them closed, but I think they filed bankruptcy or something for that reason, and hopefully they'll reorganize and get it back on its feet. But some have closed because of the pandemic. And the only nearest one right now is in Orland Park, so I haven't gone to that one yet. So someday I'll go have lunch, have a slice of pie. I remember that Wednesdays they had free pie with your meal. I don't know if it's still it's still ongoing. Okay, so let's see. The next thing I want to talk about is 2 TV shows that celebrate their 60th anniversary last year. And that the first one I will talk about is Night Gallery, hosted by Rod Sierling. It was an anthology series, just like his previous series, The Twilight Zone, which I love. Night Gallery, it got into more supernatural and horror. Twilight Zone was like that, but they rarely showed monsters or anything. It had twist endings, like when Alfred Hitchcock Presents did the same thing when it was on the air. So the series started in December. No, let me start at the beginning. The pilot aired in November 8th, 1969. And I never seen the pilots until I bought the DVD. So I saw that. And it had three episodes. 3 vignettes, if you call it. One was called The Cemetery, the other one was called Eyes, and the other one was Escape Route. Now, the one with Eyes, that starred Joan Crawford, and Steven Spielberg directed that episode, and I still love that episode of Joan Crawford. She was good in that. And so the pilot was very successful, and then it went into series, but I think it waited a while. So the first episode aired December 16th, 1970. And it ran for about 3 seasons. Like I said before, I had the DVD of all seasons, 3 seasons. After it went off the air in 1973, it went into syndication, and I think the same year it started airing on Channel 32 WFLD TV. I never knew. That's when I first knew about the show. No, I never saw it when it aired. Excuse me. So I remember the commercials on Channel 32. I remember the ads on TV Guide. It was spooky. They were spooky. Even the ads looked so spooky. Interesting thing about the show is when into syndication, it was so butchered and edited. It was severely cut, and just to make for commercial time. And they added footage from old movies or TV shows, and I thought that was the original episodes that air, and I was fooled. I wasn't told that, or no, I didn't learn about it. And it first aired at 10 o'clock at night every day on Channel 32. And then later on it moved to 11 o'clock, and they had a great lineup late at night. I remember there was The Best of Groucho from You Bet Your Life starring Groucho Marx, and Dark Shadows, the vampire soap opera. So that was a great lineup. And I have a couple of favorite episodes from Night Gallery. 2 of them that stick out. One is called House with Ghost. It starred Bob Crane and Joanne Wurley. And they were comedians, and it seemed rather strange they played dramatic roles. I was expecting them to say something funny or they laugh, but they didn't. And I liked that episode. And the other one after that was called Witch's Feast, which starred Ruth Buzzy and Agnes Moorehead, another laugh-in connection. And that only ran about a couple minutes, and when it originally aired, they did not pair it together. So because the original series was about an hour, and then when they went into syndication, they went for half an hour. And I liked it. And the other episode, which I like, was called The Painted Mirror. And let's see, who starred in that one? It was actors Arthur O'Connell and Zsa Gabor. And she played a real bitch, real mean lady. And there was another actress, Rosemary DeCamp. She it was set in an antique store, and Rosemary's character brought a mirror, and it was covered with paint. So the character for Arthur O'Connell started chipping away, and then he looked inside, and he saw something amazing. And as he chipped away the paint, the mirror became like another world. And it was set in prehistoric time. It reminded me of Jurassic Park. So they tested it. So Zsa Zsa Gabor's cat went into the mirror, and then luckily he escaped. And then they were both the characters, not Zsa Zsa Gabor character, the owner and his girlfriend. They were planning to get rid of her, so because she bought out the store, and so she brought her dog with, and they threw a ball into the mirror, and then the dog went after it, and then Zsa Zsa Gabor's character ran after the dog, and then as she was looking for the dog, he started painting the mirror so they could trap her forever, which I felt kind of sad, but she deserved it, and that was scary. That was very scary, and I never forgotten that episode. So it was very popular. And then when they went into syndication, they added another TV series called Sixth Sense, which starred Gary Collins, and that it was unrelated to Night Gallery. So they made it was a good show, but it didn't. Like I said before, it didn't make sense to Night Gallery. So, and then I heard that when the show was canceled, Rod Serling came back and did the introductions of Sixth Sense. I don't know how that happened. And then everyone still remembers Night Gallery the way it was aired, syndicated, with the added footage, the Sixth Sense episodes, and they still air that on MeTV that way. So I like that. I watched the originals series on DVD, and it felt so strange, but they were good. But I prefer both of them. So when I watch them on TV, they'll be the syndicated ones, which I was growing up watching, and then I had the DVDs, which are originally aired. So that's works out fine. Okay, another thing I will talk about is another TV show, which is Boris Karloff's Thriller. And let's see, when did that start? That went on the air on September 13th, 1960, and it ran for 2 years until 1962. Now, I remember seeing the show syndicated in Channel 32. That was like in the early 70s, and that one's a scary show, too. That was very scary. But when it first aired, it wasn't like that. It was mostly it was like a crime drama, and had mystery shows, but nothing supernatural. And then I think later on they added shows that were very spooky and scary. And then Boris Karloff acted in a few episodes. And there were a lot of famous people that guest starred on the show. There was Leslie Nielsen, William Shatner, Mary Tyler Moore, Elizabeth Montgomery. And one show that stood out that I liked a lot. I don't know if some people did. So I will. And it was about this actress that she acquired a wig from some. I'm trying to remember. From some woman that passed away, from a witch, I guess. So here we go. So, and it was called A Wig for Miss Devore, and the actress acquired the wig, and then it made her beautiful and gave her confidence. But when she took off the wig, she turned into this creature. You never seen the creature until the end, and some people were mean to her, or they were. I remember on the show there was a television, or not a television reporter, a newspaper reporter, and she got her just desserts because she was grilling her, and so the actress knocked her off, killed her. So that one was scary, and it ran in syndication for quite a while on Channel 32, and then it went to Channel 60, WPRW. Also, Night Gallery on Channel 60 as well. So that was nice. That was in the 1980s. Okay. The last thing I will talk about is Yankee Doodle Dandy Hamburgers. And it was one of my favorite restaurants. I went once there. I think it was at probably LaGrange Park. And it started in December 1966 by two brothers, Chris and Bill Preuss. And first it was called the Yankee Doodle House. And they had about 27 restaurants at one time. And it was in competition with regular franchises, McDonald's, Burger King. Wendy's came later, but then there was also Burger Chef. They were very prominent in Indiana. So there was... I went once, like I said before, in LaGrange Park. I had their Dandy Burger, and the food was good. And later on, they added more to the items. They added the fried chicken, roast beef, and they remember the commercials. And they also held birthday parties, so you can reserve a birthday party, and then you can invite as many kids as you want. And the food was already made, and that was quite fun. I never had a birthday party there, so usually I had it at home. So the company closed around 1981, and the owners were focusing on another restaurant called Bailey's Restaurant and Bar, and it was in business for a long, long time, and the last one closed on last year, August of 2020, in Tinley Park. So that was a shame. So a lot of people still miss all these wonderful restaurants. Even fast food was very tasty at the time. Right now, that's questionable, but there's some good places now. Okay. So that'll be all for today. I hope you enjoyed my show. This podcast episode, which is episode 14, and hopefully I will do another one probably later on this week. We'll see. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, and this is Vanish Chicagoland Stories, the podcast, episode 14. You can find it on Apple Podcasts or on my blog, vanishchicagoland.blog, or on my Facebook account or my Twitter account. And so I'm signing off, and I'm doing something a little special. So I'm going to have Ray Rayner say goodbye to you all, and hopefully I will use that for future episodes. Okay, well, thank you, everyone, and hope to hear from you soon. And here is Ray Rayner saying bye-bye for now.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.